On September 25th, there's going to be an early national election in Italy, and this should be a good one. This is the election that the establishment did not want. They've been doing everything possible for the past 2 years to prevent this election from taking place. And that's because the Italian Centerright coalition is poised to take power in Italy. Now, I've made numerous videos about Italian politics and Italian elections in the past. I'm probably going to make several videos over the course of the next 2 months. This is going to be a preliminary video to clear up some of the major points of confusion. So the first thing that makes Italian national elections confusing is because there's so many parties. There's a bunch of national parties, and then there's dozens of small regional parties. Now, you've got the Chamber of Deputies, which is being reduced from 650 to 400 seats, and the Senate, which is being reduced from 321 to 200 seats. This reduction in seats is the result of a public referendum. And roughly 63% of these seats will be filled via proportional representation, meaning that all the parties run against each other, and then they are awarded seats based on the percentage of the vote they get. The other 37% of the seats are individual races where the winner takes all. Now, on the national level, there's 3 main parties in the center-right coalition. Forza Italia, run by Silvio Berlusconi, Fratelli d'Italia, run by Giorgia Meloni, and Lega, run by Matteo Salvini. And those 3 parties are polling around 44 to 45%, and it's believed that they're going to get over 50% of the proportional representation seats. However, of the other 37%, the center-right coalition is polling 49%. They are predicted to get well over 60% of all those seats. Some people are even predicting much more than 60%. So in these individual seat winner-take-all races, you have many, many parties that are part of the center-right coalition, counting all the various regional parties. And so within a district, all the members of the center-right coalition come together and pick one candidate. Now, put it this way. In 2018, the center-right coalition took 37% of all the votes in the winner-take-all races. They came in first place. Five Star Movement came in second place. The center-left coalition came in third place. With their 37%, they took almost 50% of all the seats. And now they're polling 49%. Now, there's some different dynamics. Five Star Movement is now much smaller than it was, but essentially, they are going to completely dominate the center-left coalition. The center-left coalition is going to get shut out bad, just like they did in 2018 in these winner-take-all seats. And so what's going to happen is the center-right coalition should take 55% or more of all the seats, and they're going to run the government. The largest party in the coalition right now is Fratelli d'Italia, which means Brothers of Italy. It's run by Giorgia Meloni. And nationally, they're polling 24%. And there's a lot of confusion there because when I very first started making videos, Fratelli d'Italia was the smallest of the 3. So people keep asking me, how did they suddenly become, the biggest party in this coalition, the biggest party in Italy, when they were just this small party before? Well, essentially, this is how it happened. Giorgia Meloni consistently positioned herself to the right of Matteo Salvini. So, however hard of a line Matteo Salvini took, Giorgia Meloni would be just to the right of him. And she maintained a really consistent message. And when Mario Draghi took power, this, I think he was a central banker, basically an establishment hack. Lega and Forza Italia decided to become part of his unity government. And Giorgia Meloni and Fratelli d'Italia refused. And so they were the only one of the three main center-right parties that stayed on the outside as opposition to this globalist unity government of Italy. And it's paid off. And so Matteo Salvini has actually lost substantial support to Meloni. So right now, the mainline Western media is saying this is a major calamity. Italy is about to fall to a extreme far-right fascist government. The first female prime minister in the history of Italy is going to be Mussolini 2.0. And of course, this is all disingenuous coverage. The mainline media in Europe is even claiming that Meloni is pro-Russia and pro-Putin when she's been one of Italy's biggest supporters of Ukraine this whole time. So this is not honest media coverage. However, the mainline media has essentially conceded that there's nothing they can do. They've essentially conceded that the center-right coalition is probably going to take power in Italy after this election. Now, people keep asking me, how conservative are the parties of the center-right coalition? And of the three main parties, which one is the most conservative? Well, I would say that Fratelli d'Italia is the most conservative of the three. Like I said, they keep positioning themselves to the right of Lega. And Lega is way to the right of most so-called conservative or so-called center-right parties of Europe, especially the establishment mainline center-right parties. And even Forza Italia, when you compare it to the establishment center-right parties of Western Europe and Scandinavia, is fairly on the right. Forza Italia was created as a moderate, big tent, centrist center-right party, but parties like the British Conservatives and the German Christian Democrats, they've moved so far to the left that Forza Italia now looks like a more hardline party by comparison. In fact, years ago, when Forza Italia was the largest party in Italy, they were part of the EPP in the European Union, and Silvio Berlusconi and Viktor Orban were big allies in the EU, and their two parties were the leaders of a conservative faction within the EPP. Well, now Viktor Orban and Fidesz have been kicked out of the EPP, and Forza Italia is no longer particularly relevant in the EPP because they don't have nearly as many seats as they used to. But in conclusion, all three of these parties are to the right of the establishment center-right parties of Western Europe and Scandinavia, and Lega and Fratelli d'Italia are significantly to the right. Now, I'm going to make another video going into more detail into the history of these three parties. I'm going to have to brush up a little bit myself and refresh my memory, but that'll be coming up shortly in the next few days. Thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below and tell me what you think about this, and click the subscribe button. New video every few days.
Il Migration Compact è esattamente quello che serve a chi ha utilizzato l'immigrazione irregolare in questi decenni per coronare il grande disegno della speculazione finanziaria di privare i nazioni e i popoli della loro identità, perché quando non hai più radici sei schiavo e quando sei schiavo fai gli interessi di Soros. e queste persone purtroppo a quello guardano. E quindi noi abbiamo letto bene il Migration Compact e continuiamo a chiedere al governo di avere una posizione chiara. Noi chiediamo che il governo dica pubblicamente di no.